Hey, you're listening to the Reasons Podcast. Sit back, relax, and enjoy.
What's up, people, and welcome to the first episode of the Reasons Podcast. My name is Rilewa, and I'll be the host. I'll always be the host, unless something goes drastically wrong and I have to sell the podcast or something like that. But I'm the host. Some of you might know me as Ral from my YouTube channel, Reasoning with Ral. And if you've come from there, thank you very much. But to those of you that don't know me as Ral, you could call me Ral, you could call me Rilewa. I don't really mind. And yeah, welcome to episode 1. I always find that, I found this with the YouTube, that the first episode or the first video I made there was so difficult because obviously I don't really have a topic for this. I'm kind of just introducing the podcast, I'm introducing myself, and that's quite awkward. It's just difficult. Like, you don't really know what to say. Like, oh, hey, I'm Rilewa, I'm doing a podcast, what else? But it's an important episode because it really just sets a scene and it gives me a chance to explain what the point of this is, why I'm doing it, and what exactly I want to get from it. But it's also just quite fun. Like, the first episode is fun. Like, it's the first time I'm seeing the track with my voice and actually really just making an episode. Yeah, I've done some like run-throughs to make sure that everything was actually working, but this is the real thing, and that's pretty exciting. But yeah, like I said, my name's Rilewa, or Ral, for those of you that come from the YouTube channel, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, I'm starting a podcast because I've kind of realized that my YouTube videos are essentially just podcasts, and it's actually quite awkward because some of my videos are quite long in the grand scheme of things for YouTube videos. Like, especially in 2024, people are not watching any YouTube videos longer than like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So like, me putting out a half an hour video, I don't really know who I'm expecting to watch that. So really, a podcast is just the most natural next step for me, and it will allow me to do different things with the YouTube they're quite exciting. Some animation based things, some intertwining with some like forms of media, which is quite exciting, and it means that I can still do the same kind of content that I have been thus far, just in this form. And also, I don't have to sit in front of the camera, which is sometimes quite difficult because obviously people can see what you're doing. So here, there is no video for this podcast. That might change. It's not even if it gets big enough, really. It's just if I have space, because I guess I'll get into what I do. I'm a uni student, for those of you that don't know. And I'm going into my 4th year, my master's year. I just graduated, and I've just moved into, literally like 3 days ago, I moved into my new place for this year, and I couldn't host a podcast here, right? Most of you that have gone to uni, or those of you that have gone to uni, know that like student accommodation is not the most spacious, should I say. There's not like a room I could just dedicate to recording this podcast. And it means that obviously I'm quite limited in what I can do, but I also think it's quite nice sometimes to not have a video to watch, and you could just put this on in the background, maybe when you're driving, or if you're cooking, washing up, whatever, you can just put this on in the background and just listen to some, I don't even know, like some philosophy, some reasoning, some real good conversation. So yeah, the format most of the time would just be me, because I don't have that many connections yet. Not yet. Soon I might. And hopefully, because this is what I would like the podcast to be eventually, is just a platform for me to have people on, talk to people about things that are relevant to them. Because for me, I'm very interested in lots of different things, which is why I started a YouTube channel, which is why I'm starting a podcast, which is why I just do so many different things. But I don't know everything. And for some reason, I have this fixation on trying to know as many things as I can and just chasing knowledge, I guess. It's a bit weird. I guess it's kind of nerdy. I've realized recently that I might be a little bit of a nerd, but I guess that's fine, because you can never really know too many things. But back on topic, what I'd like for this podcast to be eventually is a platform for me to actually like learn with you guys, the listeners, through the invitations of guests, through people who come on the show, and I can talk to them about things that are relevant to them, and I can learn about things in their life or in their area of expertise or just their field in general. And it means that you as the listeners get to learn at the same time as me. Yeah, there'll be some episodes where I come on and I'm talking about something that's really relevant to me, really relevant to something that I know, and it might feel like I'm just lecturing. I hope not, because there are some podcasts. This is just quickly going off topic. This is something about podcasts that I don't really like, which is why I don't actually listen to that many. I just don't really listen to them in general. But I often feel like they're just telling me things, especially the ones that are informative, I guess. Not like the comedy ones or whatever. But if there's anything that's like that I'm actually interested in, it kind of feels like they're just lecturing me. They're kind of just telling me things. Like there's no real discussion. There's no real like putting forward of arguments or anything like that. It's kind of just like I'm a student and I'm just listening to them tell me things. There's no like a engagement from the audience, and that's why I feel like this podcast is going to be quite different. And I hope that you guys that are listening would like that. That I'm not perfect. I don't know everything. I'd like to know everything, but that is a journey that both I'm on and you as the listeners. So yeah, I have some people in mind, or some people that I've reached out to about coming on the podcast and talking about things that are relevant to them. And I'm actually quite excited because those people do some really interesting things that I have no idea about. Or I have, slight inkling through just what you could have as just a regular person. But they've had some really cool experiences. I've gone through some really cool things that I think it'd be a bit selfish of me to just not share that. That's kind of how I see this podcast is, I'm not special by starting it, right? There are a lot of curious people out there, and there are a lot of different people who could start a podcast, but, maybe don't have the confidence or couldn't muster up the courage to start one, maybe feel a little bit embarrassed. And essentially, I'm one of you guys because I've had these ideas, I've had these, visions for what I could be doing with all of this curiosity for so long, and I haven't put them forward. But now I guess I'm just a spokesperson for that group of people. I'm no better than that group of people because I'm part of that group. And yeah, like I said, I feel like it would be quite selfish for me to try and act on this curiosity, know that there are other people that are just as curious as me, if not more, and just hide away, like have all of these different connections or different people that I could have on the podcast and just not put that out there. So yeah, I guess that's the framework, or that's what I want this podcast to be for people. It's just a way to learn and a journey to learn alongside me, really, because like I said, I'm not perfect. I don't know anything, not anything, but I don't know everything. And there is so much to know. There's so many cool conversations I've had with people already, and so many cool conversations that I will have with people that, yeah, like I said, it'd be selfish for me to just, not put that out there. But back onto the format, like I said, it'll be mostly me, I think, especially in the beginning, because, yeah, like I said, don't know everybody in the world, don't know that many cool, interesting topics that I could, have people on for. But as the show goes on, that might change. We might have an episode 1 week where it's just me, and then the next week it's me and somebody else, or me and 2 people or 3 people. I guess we'll just see how it goes. More importantly, I just need to start. Like, you have to begin doing something for any of those visions that I have to actually be realized. So right now, I'm thinking fortnightly. So an episode every 2 weeks. I think for these first, like for the launch of the podcast, I'm going to release 2 or 3 episodes. I've not decided yet. I have 2 for certain that I have in mind. One of them is this, and one more I have in mind, but I'm not certain whether I'll release it with the launch, just because somebody could listen to this introduction video and not really enjoy it. And if I release another episode 2 weeks later, they might have just decided they're not coming back to the Reasons podcast. And by releasing 2 or 3, they can listen to, episode 1 and be like, I don't know, I'm not sure. But then they listen to episode 2 and they're like, damn, this is really good. So that's my thinking behind that. But yeah, like I said, I go to uni, so weekly would be the dream. Like, I'd love to be able to do one every single week, but it might be a bit difficult. So I'm going to aim now for fortnightly, and if I can get it down to weekly, then I will, but I will let you know. And if anything changes in regards to the structure of the podcast or anything to do with the schedule of the podcast or just anything in general, I'll always let you guys know, because like I said, this is not just for me. I've got no real aspirations for this podcast outside of it being a project for both me and the people listening and my friends and the people that come on, I guess, because they might learn some things from me as well. Sometimes I might actually have to give myself a bit of credit, because I'm not just going to have people on and they just sit here and lecture me. Like I said, they might actually learn some things from me. You guys might learn some things from me. And it'd be really cool to have a community. I watch people on streams or on YouTube, and you're in the comments, you're in the chat, and it feels like there's a real community there, and it's really cool to be part of that. But I always think it'd be so cool as one of those creators to have that community and actually have a group of people that you can converse with often about things that you're passionate about, because that's essentially what it is. For a Twitch streamer, they're doing something they're passionate about and they're talking to their chat about it, and for me, that idea is so cool. Yeah, I'm not going to be sitting here playing video games. Yeah, I'm going to be learning about different things. I mean, I might have an episode about video games, but I'm not going to be sitting there playing them. But yeah, just the idea of having a community and the vision for the community that I want to cultivate here, to me, is so cool. Where we all just learn, pick each other's brains, and if somebody leaves a comment or sends me a message about something that they'd like to have on an episode of the podcast, that would be so cool. I always say this in my YouTube videos, I always encourage people to leave me a comment or have a conversation with me in the comment section, because to me, that's what makes making the videos even more fun than just sitting in front of the camera and talking, is that people actually care about the things that I'm talking about. Not just because I'm talking about them, but because they're just interested in the same things as me. And that's so cool. So I'm going to try and be as consistent as I can with this, because the YouTube has been quite difficult. Because like I said, I do feel a bit uncomfortable with how long my videos are sometimes. So I'm kind of in a limbo with what exactly to do with the channel, especially since starting this. I'm not sure, because if this is going to take the bulk of my more educational, informative, I guess educational is a bit of a far-fetched term. I'm not really teaching anybody anything, but I guess we're learning, so you can kind of get what I'm talking about. I think the YouTube is going to be for just more engaging short-form content, and I guess that's something for me to address over there, maybe not here, but it'd be really cool if those of you that are listening that aren't subscribed to Reasoning with Rao on YouTube, if you could head over there, subscribe, watch a couple videos, engage with me, because if you like it here, I'm sure you'll probably like it over there as well. But yeah, here on the podcast, like I said, I've gone over the structure, I've gone over the schedule, I've gone over why I think it'll be valuable to you guys, because yeah, like I said, there are a lot of curious people who just haven't mustered up the courage really to do something with all of that, curiosity. There was a guy who I met at this place. I work at Weatherspoons back home. I live in Norwich. I work at Wetherspoons there. Not very important, but there you go. And I met this guy, and we were talking about having a general conversation, and he was so passionate about video editing, and I was talking to him about how I've just recently started getting into it, especially with my YouTube, trying to find ways to make my videos better for the viewers, but also more fun and engaging, because learning something new is so cool to me, especially. And he had so many good ideas, and just hasn't mustered up courage to put those ideas anywhere. And it really struck me, because he said some really, really interesting things about what I could do with my YouTube channel. Because like I said, I was struggling with ideas of how to get what I want into a form that is actually suitable for YouTube. And he said some things that were just so eye-opening to me. And I was like, this guy's so smart, but he just hasn't put all of that curiosity that he has into something. And that's why I feel like it'll be resonating for some people, is that they can sit here and listen to somebody that's in the same situation as them, or was in the same situation as them, and it can actually spur them on to actually make something. It doesn't have to be exactly what they had in mind when they had all of that curiosity, but if you've got it, you might as well put it somewhere. My YouTube channel has, it's not viral, it's not making me any money, but I put my curiosity somewhere, and I'm so, so grateful that I did that, because I've learnt so much from just sitting there, emptying my thoughts, having conversations with people. And I would love for somebody listening to this to be like, damn, let me just start. Because what I've realized is that the quality, the quantity, just all of the peripherals around making things doesn't really matter. I'm sitting here with a makeshift setup, right? It's nothing crazy, it's nothing professional. I have a microphone, I have a laptop, and I'm sitting here and I'm just speaking. And to me, that's fulfilling, right? It makes me feel like I'm putting my curiosity somewhere. And to somebody listening, all you need is, the bare bones. You don't even need a microphone. I only bought the microphone after I was like, right, I'm going to do this. It was almost like I bought it so that I could actually, I spent like £45 on this mic, and I can't just drop £45 as a uni student and just decide, bro, I'm not doing anything with it. So it was kind of like I don't know what the word is, but it kind of locked me into doing it. It forced me to do it. You can't just waste money in this economy. So yeah, if anyone's listening, or if anyone at any point is listening to this podcast and decides that they want to create something or want to put their curiosity somewhere, that would make me feel just incredible. It'd make my day, it'd make my week, it'd make my month. It'd just be such a nice community where we've got all these curious people and we're all just doing stuff with our curiosity. But yeah, that's why I feel like it'll be resonating. And I hope for some of you that are listening in a moment, or have listened to any episodes, if you don't decide to listen to episode 1 first, why I think it's, worthwhile to listen to, and it could actually help you in some way. I mean, there's some people that I will have, I don't want to say will have and jinx it. That would be bad. Anyway, there's some people that might appear on the podcast that have some really interesting things to say. I mean, I sit with my friends. It's going to be quite difficult to have these people on, right? And stop the episode, because I talk a lot. I love talking. I love learning, like I said. And it was going to be quite difficult for me to just put an end to an episode at an hour, 45 minutes, when really I could speak with this person or that person or that group of people for 2-3 more hours. But the people that I'm hoping to have on the show, and I guess me myself as well, I have some really interesting things to say, and they can help you in ways that even I haven't thought about, just because I might be saying something that really hits you somewhere that even I couldn't imagine or you didn't know before you heard me say it. And I guess that's what I want to cultivate with this, right? It's not just me, it's not just my guests, but it's all of us. And as much as I'm going to try and help people learn and I'm going to learn, the people that come on the show might learn. And I feel like it would be really cool if at some point people want to come on. It won't just be me reaching out to people like, hey, do you want to come on? Like, do you want to spew your knowledge? I hope at some point maybe people are like, damn, I want a little platform where I can come on and talk about things and learn things from me or from be part of the community and, you know, just dump that curiosity somewhere. I guess that's the main thing with this episode is like dumping your curiosity somewhere. You know, I guess I'm going to spoil episode 2, but I'm going to have, I think it's going to be episode 2, but one of my friends, what should I call him? His name is Jamie, but he's also goes as Dim Sum. So I might put him down as both in episode 2, but he's got, like, we sit in the coffee shop sometimes for like 3 hours and just talk and just reason. Like, we have so much to talk about, and like I said, it's going to be difficult to actually fit what we want to talk about in one episode or 1 hour, one episode that's 1 hour long. So, you know, it'd be cool maybe to have him back on or to have different people on. But like I said, there are so many things that I will say and he will say and the following guests will say in an episode that really will help. Well, I think will help you guys are the listeners, because they really help me, and yeah, it might lead you to dump your curiosity somewhere. So yeah, that's kind of the gist of what I wanted to talk about. Like I said, it is a bit awkward, the first episode, because I actually don't know. Obviously, I want these episodes to be a bit longer than what I've spoken to right now, but like I'm at 22 minutes and bro, I don't really know. Like this is who I am. I'm Rilewa. I'm Rao. This is the show. This is what I'm going to do with the show. I will link everything that I've spoken about so far in. I actually have to figure out how it works, because Spotify and Apple Podcasts, if any of you do actually decide to start a podcast, bro, how this stuff works, I am actually clueless, because you have to like have episodes to actually make an account or like to make a channel. But then that doesn't even make sense, right? Because where did the episodes go before I put them there? So like I'm using Podcaster right now. So once I've finished, you know, this project 2, as it says on my screen right now, where does it go? If I can't upload it to, it's like you have to have 2 episodes, bro. Where do they go in the meantime before I have episode 2? Like, where's this episode going to sit? So I'm going to try and put links to everything in the bio, and I'm also going to link my YouTube, because like I said, if you really enjoy the things I talk about here, also I hit the mic, but if you really enjoy the things I talk about here, or the things that I've talked, or the things that I've said I'm going to talk about here, you might also enjoy Reasoning with Rao. It's been going for like, I don't even know when I started it, maybe like 5 months ago, and it's going pretty good. Like I said, it's not the craziest thing views wise, subscribers wise, but it's really cool. And if you want some snippets of what's going on in my life, what things are just going on, and just, I guess, my journey with video editing and all of that, it'd be really cool if you could go over there. So I'm going to leave a link to that in the bio. I hope it's a clickable link on Apple and Spotify, but if not, then I will leave it in a format that you can easily copy it, type it into YouTube. And yeah, any links to anything else I have with the Reasons podcast, Instagram. I don't know about Twitter yet, because Twitter's a bit scary. Like the things that go on Twitter are a bit scary. Like I had to delete Twitter off my phone because like the Twitter threads, it just gets a bit crazy, and then like my mind is overstimulated, so like I don't even know if I want to contribute to that. So maybe there won't be a Twitter, but there'll be an Instagram. You know, I'll make some reels of, you know, the things that I've spoken about and whatnot. So I'll leave links to all of that. And yeah, I really do encourage you guys to engage, because if you are really curious and you really do have things that you want to do but you don't know how to do them, yeah, it's going to be you that has to do that thing in the end. But the best motivation is often like other curious people who have gone through the same experience as you, who have finally put their curiosity somewhere. And that might not even be me. You might leave a comment, I might talk about it in the next episode, and somebody could, hit you up and be like, hey man, I was actually like this like 3 weeks ago. I decided to do this and now I'm really happy. That could be you, So I really do encourage you guys to get involved with each other in whatever community sections that I link in my bio. And yeah, that's episode 1. Sorry if it was a bit, I don't know how to describe it because it's episode 1. Like there's nothing really to talk about other than what's gonna happen from now on. But yeah, it was pretty fun, and I look forward to the next one. Like I said, the next episode, but I guess they'll be released at the same time, but the next episode will be with my friend Jamie, and we'll speak to you then. So yeah, right. Row out. Peace.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Reasons Podcast. Make sure to tune into the next episode.